And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Trent Haggins, who writes, "Greetings, John and Erin. Erin is not here today. She's off shooting her NBC show Good Girls right now, but she'll be back next week. Like you, John, I was totally devastated at the surprise cancellation of Kim's Convenience, one of the best shows on TV. Anyway, it was my favorite show for about 2 years. Wondering if you had a chance to read the brutal post Simu Liu just wrote about the show's cancellation and some of the drama behind it. Personally, I feel a little icky, like some of that stuff shared should have been kept private, and some of it I'm really glad he shared. What did you think of his comments?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, Simu Liu, coming off of Kim's Convenience. Now, if the name sounds familiar, that's because this is our new Shang-Chi. Simu Liu is Marvel's Shang-Chi, coming out soon. Trailer dropped recently, really liked it, excited to see it, and I love him in Kim's Convenience. Kim's Convenience is this little Canadian sitcom show that I didn't watch. Like, I never even heard of it until it was already in like season 3. So me and my wife started binging it and we could not stop. And everybody I've talked to that started watching Kim's Convenience loves it. It's amazing. It's just about this Korean family living the Canadian dream, moving to Canada, opening up a little local corner store. And it's just about their lives. And it's wonderful. It's charming. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's just fantastic TV. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere recently, they announced they were shutting the show down for no reason. The CBC didn't cancel it. Netflix didn't cancel it. It's just that the producers of the show who own the rights just decided we don't want to make any more. And out of nowhere, with the show being incredibly successful, with all the cast and crew already thinking they were getting a season 6, and they already started booking plans and everything, and then out of nowhere, the producer said they didn't want to do anymore. Well, when the announcement was made that they were pulling the plug, Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, was quite public saying he was really disappointed about the fact that it was canceled. And he actually revealed that he was really actually quite upset about it, but he didn't say a lot more beyond that. Well, I guess yesterday he decided he wanted to vent some of his frustrations. And he vented those frustrations at length. Like, this is not a little, just some little thing he decided to throw out there. He decided to write about this at length. Now, we're going to read some parts of it here because there are some things in here that honestly is very disappointing to hear about the show and the situations canceling it. And I'm going to be honest with you. And you guys know, I love this guy. You guys have heard me talk about him. I'm a big fan of his. I'm so excited that he's Shang-Chi. He's so good in Kim's Convenience. Couldn't be happier for him, blah, blah, blah. But while there are some things in this little rant of his that I'm pretty disappointed to hear about how the show ended, there's also some things he decided to write in here that makes me a little bit disappointed in him. And I say this as a fan. You guys know, if you watch my show, you know I am a fan of this guy. But he's also said some things in here that leaves me a little bit disappointed that he would have some of the attitudes that he has. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the stuff he said. Now, let's look at the first bit he wrote up here. Season 5 of Kim's Convenience comes out on Netflix today, and I'm feeling a host of emotions right now. It is, of course, our last season, thanks to a decision by our producers not to continue the show after the departure of 2 showrunners. There's been a lot of talk and speculation about what happened, and I want to do my best to give accurate information, so I'll itemize my thoughts below. Number 1, the show can't be, you know what? Let's not even start with number 1. Let's start with point number 2, because what a lot of people assumed when Kim's Convenience got canceled was that, oh, I know why it got canceled. Because Simu Liu, now he's a Marvel superhero. Now he's Shang-Chi. Now he doesn't have time for these little sitcoms. That's probably why the show got canceled. Well, Simu addressed that head on. Let's go jump down to number 2 here, where he says, I wanted to be a part of the 6th season. I've heard a lot of speculation surrounding myself, specifically about how getting a Marvel role went meant I suddenly was too Hollywood for Canadian TV. This could not be further from the truth. I love this show and everything it stood for. I saw firsthand how profoundly it impacted families and brought people together. It's truly so rare for a show today to have such an impact on people. I wanted very badly to make the schedules work. So listen, so one of the things that I'm glad he addressed, one of the very first things he comes out of the gate and says, listen, this had nothing to do with me. I wanted season 6 of this show. I desperately wanted season 6 of this show. Them canceling this had nothing to do with me being Hollywood and being Shang-Chi in a Marvel MCU movie. Had nothing to do with it. I wanted to be a part of the show. And I'm glad that he specified that because listen, even I agree. It looks a little suspicious when he gets to announce being in the MCU and then not long after that, Kim's Convenience gets canceled. I get that there was some speculation about that, but I'm glad that he addressed that right away. Let's go over to part 1, though. This is key for people understanding the cancellation of the show. The show cannot be saved. It was not canceled in a traditional manner, i.e. by a network after poor ratings. Our producers, who also own the Kim's Convenience intellectual property, are the ones who chose not to continue. Neither CBC nor Netflix own the rights to Kim's Convenience. They merely license it. However, the producers of the show are indeed spinning off, this is disturbing. The producers of the show are indeed spinning off a new show for the Shannon character. It's been difficult for me. I love and I am proud of Nicole, the actress who plays Shannon on Kim's Convenience. I love and am proud of Nicole, and I want the show to succeed for her. But I remain resentful of all the circumstances that led to the one non-Asian character in Kim's Convenience getting her own show. And not that they would ever ask, but I will adamantly refuse to reprise my role in any capacity. All right, this is actually a little bit messed up. And by the way, BMG501 sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you, BMG. I did not know about this. So in Kim's Convenience, and let me see if I can pull up a good Kim's Convenience image here. But in Kim's Convenience, there is, of course, the one non-Asian character. Okay, at least of the main cast, there's the one non-Asian character, which is the Shannon character, the girl in pink. And I love this character, and she's wonderful in the show. Actually, all the characters are wonderful in the show, but Nicole, the actress who plays it, she's great. But in this show that is supposed to be all about Asian culture, you know, the immigrant life, family coming to Canada or North America, as you will, coming to Canada or America, and about, you know, the juxtaposition of their cultural heritage with the West world that they're living in now and all this kind of stuff. To out of nowhere cancel that show when it is globally popular and people are loving it, it's winning awards. You get people on it like Simu Liu, who's now blowing up and is going to be in the MCU and all that kind of stuff, to say, oh yeah, we're canceling that show. But don't worry, guys, we've got a spinoff coming about the one white character. The one white character. Now listen, I don't know if you guys knew this. I've seen some speculation about it, but I'm not sure if you guys knew this or not. But sit down, hold on to your hats. I'm about to drop a bomb on you. I'm white. Didn't know if you knew that. Didn't know if you knew that. I'm a white dude. I like being a white dude. I like stories about white dudes and white girls and all sorts of people just as much as any other stories that I like. So don't get me wrong. But there is something inherently really messed up when you have this culturally diverse show about this specific, you know, family and their heritage, and you're going to cancel it out of nowhere, but continue it on with a spinoff of the one white character. You at least got to know the optics on that are bad. You have to at least recognize the optics, at minimum, the optics on that are bad. And so, yeah, listen, when Simu Liu says, in his thing, I don't think he sounds bitter at all, because when he says, but I will adamantly refuse to reprise my role in any capacity in that show, it doesn't just sound like sour grapes to me. It sounds like a very reasonable response by a Korean Canadian actor coming out of a huge hit show about a Korean Canadian family, and they're just going to do a spinoff show about the one white girl. It just feels bad. It just does not look right. It doesn't feel right, and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. So listening to Simu Liu talking about, the producers just decided out of nowhere to cancel the show. CBC didn't want them to cancel it. Netflix didn't want them to cancel it. All that kind of stuff. They just decided to cancel it out of nowhere, and it's left us all very upset. I feel bad for the guy. I totally do. And then hearing in the show about a Korean Canadian family and the whole cultural thing of the show, and the one spin-off show they're going to do is about the white girl. Oh, come on. What brain trust thought this was going to play well? So even though I love the character, I do. So there's that. The problem is, and we're not going to read Simu's article at length here, because as you can see, it's very, very long. But Simu Liu starts to devolve. And I'm going to encourage you guys to go to Simu Liu's own social media account and look up this post, because again, it would take us a while to read through this whole thing. But he also starts getting into some stuff here that is basically him complaining, and he doesn't word it exactly like this, but when you start reading through it, this is how it plays out. Him complaining that he didn't have more control of the show. Because there's a number of the paragraphs he writes about, I had story ideas and they wouldn't listen to me. And, we didn't get paid as much as the actors on Schitt's Creek. Well, yeah, the Levy family is in Schitt's Creek. Obviously, they're going to get more money. But, we didn't get as much money as Schitt's Creek. They never came to us. They never took my creative ideas. I wanted to shadow and become maybe I wanted to direct some episodes. They wouldn't let me do it and all that kind of stuff. And again, I will let you go and read his words yourself. But to me, it came across as, and I'm sure he's not like this, but his words did come across like this, that he is a whiny little spoiled actor. Here's the thing that I don't get. I don't know why actors think they're more important than other people. And I don't know why so many fans think actors are more important than other people. They are no less important than other people, but they are no more important than other people. Actors, like any crew member on a movie, are hired because they have a specific set of skills to come in and perform a specific function. Just like a cinematographer is hired because of his expertise to come in and perform a certain function to help a movie come together. Just as a set designer has a specific set of expertise that allows them to come in and exercise their expertise as a function to fulfill a role in making a movie or TV show happen. An actor has a specific set of skills that allows them to come in and help the producers make a certain TV show. But why actors like Simu Liu all of a sudden think that because they're an actor, they're entitled? Why don't I hear Simu Liu saying, oh, the guy who did the lighting? They should be getting our story ideas from him. They should talk to him about getting his ideas for stories from the show. Oh, that carpenter who comes in and helps build our sets every day? Yeah, since he's a part of the show, they should go and start getting his ideas and start taking some of his script ideas for the show. Well, no actor ever says that. So why does an actor feel like they should be allowed to do that? Again, listen, I remain a fan of the guy. I think it just came across wrong. I don't think this is actually his attitude. I think you're talking about a guy who was just very frustrated about an unceremonious, sudden, abrupt ending to a show that he loved being a part of and a lot of fans loved being a part of, and then seeing they're doing a spin-off show of it about the one single non-Korean character in the show. And I think you just are left now with a guy who's probably taken a lot of shit from people saying it's your fault they canceled Kim's Convenience. It's your fault because you're a Hollywood now. You add all that up, you've got a guy here who is probably extremely frustrated, probably extremely emotional, and just decided to vent. And I think some of the things he decided to vent came across the wrong way, at least to a reader like me. It's yeah, you're a really good actor, man. That doesn't mean they owed you a place at the writer's table. That doesn't mean they owed you consultation on how the show should go. I mean, if they want to do it, great. Some shows do that with their actors, but it doesn't mean they owe it to you. But again, I don't think this is how he really is. I think he was just extremely frustrated because he's in a terrible situation that had nothing to do with him and it was not his fault at all. And he was probably now just venting it out. But That's my take on it. Question is, and by the way, Skylar Hillman sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thanks, man. So the question is, guys, what do you think about Simu's comments? I mean, there's some really unfortunate things he reveals here about that are very disturbing. There's also some things I don't think he should have written. Question is, guys, what do you think about it? Jump on down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.